Hello once again on Cowboys Insiders. Today, the Dallas Cowboys finally started to sign NFL draft of 2026. After disappointing seasons, the Cowboys are no longer pretending they are one of the piece way, and his vision is clear. The roster need a young energy, a speed and identity players. Across the table, coaches and scouts discussed one things over and over. Even with a superstar like Micah Parsons leading in the charge, the defense struggled, missed the tackles, blown coverage, and no consistency. On the offense, Dak Prescott still leads, but pressure is building. He needs a help, not just weapon, but protection and balance. So this NFL draft is about a survival and revival to the Dallas Cowboy. Dallas holds something large. Two first round picks, the picks 12 and picks 20. Inside the rooms, one scout whispers, "We can trade the future tonight." There are two paths on the board: take two annuited player or go all in a chance on one generation talent. So the debate in the Dallas begins due to those options that the scout of the Dallas Cowboy is dealing. So if the safe plan, the stable plan, two starter immediately signed with the Dallas. Another voice cuts in, "What if we move up, silence the idea package both picks, jump into the top 5 in the NFL? The draft game-changing pass rusher, the kind of player offenses fear every snap. Pair him with Micah Parsons, suddenly the Cowboys' defense become terrifying. But it comes at a cost. No death, a fewer chances, and high risk and high rewards are expected. So the next option is I think like a chess player. A scout runs forwards, a trade down and get more picks. More players get a chances and build a depth across the roster. So this is how a great teams are built quietly, but you might miss a greatness. The identity shift. This isn't just about players. It's about the identity of the Dallas Cowboys, which are evolving a faster defense, a hybrid players, and versatility over size. They want a defenders who can rush, cover, and adopt. A modern football demands it. A draft night vision. As the clock ticks closer to the draft night, a vision forms. If everything goes right, Dallas walk away with a shoot-down cornerback who looks down at top receivers, a dynamic edge or linebackers who flies across the field, mid-round gems who develop into a future starts. The kind of class that the people look back on and say. So those are the NFL draft mocks in the Dallas Cowboys. Also the Dallas Cowboys off-season transfers. The Dallas are entering in 2026 NFL off-season with a clear vision to reinforce a key position across the roster and increase their chances of making a deep playoff run. So in the series of strategic moves, the team has set its sight signings. signings of 4 promising players: Fernando Mendoza, Ruben Byrne, Alvin Lees, and David Baylor. These transfers are more than a routine acquisitions. They reflect a Dallas intent to address a long-standing roster weaknesses while adding a youth talent capable of contributing immediately. Let's start on Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza is an offensive line reinforcement. Fernando Mendoza is regarded as the one of the top young offensive linemen available this offseason. Standing at 6'5" and 315 pounds, Mendoza combined a brute strength with a nimble footwork, allowing him to excel in both pass protection and run blocking. So the Cowboys have struggled with a consistency along the offensive line in previous seasons. After giving up a critical sacks in a close situations, Mendoza alive provide a competition for the position, add flexibility which could allow a Dallas to rotate a players depending on matchups or injuries. Analysts predict that Mendoza could immediately bolster the offensive front, giving a quarterback Dak Prescott more time and improving the running game efficiently. So there is many reasons that the Dallas Cowboys could make this transfer of Fernando Mendoza. A reliable offensive line is foundation of the successful NFL teams. By signing a Mendoza, a Dallas is addressing an NFL draft which will start soon. The Dallas Cowboys entered in 2026 off-season with a clear priorities: reinforce the roster, manage the salary cap challenges, and build a team capable of making a team playoff run. One of the biggest talking points has been contract situation for the star players like Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. Prescott remained in the leader of the offense and the franchise continued to build around him. While Micah Parsons is not just defensive cornerstone but one of the most dominant defensive players in the entire league. In free agencies, the Cowboys have been strategic rather than aggressive. Instead of making a high-cost signings, they are focused on depth and value. This includes adding experienced players who can contribute immediately while not disrupting the team's long-term financial plans. The Cowboys understand that winning in the modern NFL is not just about a star power, it's about a depth, chemistry, and consistency in the game. Another important aspect has been reinforcing the offensive line. Protecting a Dak Prescott is a top priority, especially after season where injuries and pressure affected offensive rhythm. The front office has explored both free agencies and draft options to strengthen this unity. Similarly, the defensive side of the ball has been focused particularly in adding a support around Micah Parsons to ensure the defense remain one of the most feared in a league. Now let's shift to NFL draft, which is one of the most exciting part of the offseason in the NFL. The Cowboys are entering the draft with several needs: offensive line, and defensive line, and possibly a wide receiver to complement a CeeDee Lamb. Lamb has developed into a true elite receiver, but adding another dynamic weapon could take the offense to another level. The Cowboys scouting department have been working tirelessly analyzing college prospects and identifying players who can fit the team system. This year's draft class is considered a deep, especially in positions like offensive tackles and defensive edge, which plays perfectly into a Dallas needs. There is also a growing speculation that the Cowboys could trade up or down depending on how the draft board unfolds. One thing to watch closely is how the Dallas balances immediate impact players versus a long-term development prospect. In recent years, the Cowboys have had success drafting players who contribute a light way, and they will be hoping to continue that a trend. Fans are especially excited to see whether the team will land a future star who can make instant differences. Beyond the players, the coaching staff is also playing a key role in shaping a decision. The system, scheme, and overall philosophy will influence which player the Cowboys target. It's not just about a talent, it's about a fit. That's why every draft picks a free agent signing is carefully evaluated. As we look ahead, expectations remain high. The Cowboys are one of the most popular and scrutinized teams in the NFL, and every move they make is under a spotlight. Fans are hoping that these combinations of the smart free agency decision and strong draft class will finally push the team closer to a Super Bowl appearance. So, due to the NFL draft and free agencies, the Dallas Cowboys are approaching this offseason with a clear and calculated strategy. Free agents have been about a smart addition and maintaining a stability, while the NFL draft represents an opportunity to inject a young, explosive talent into a roster. If everything goes according to a plan, this could be one of the most important off-season in the recent Cowboys history, making him essential to a Cowboys plan. The front office has continued to express a confidence in him, building the offense in the way that allow him to succeed with a better protection and a more reliable weapon. One of the biggest headlines surrounding the team is the continued rise and dominance of the Micah Parsons. Parsons has transformed into not only the defensive leader of the Cowboys, but one of the most feared defensive players in the entire league. His versatility rushing the passer, stopping the run, and even dropping into a coverage make him a nightmare for opposing offenses. The Cowboys are full aware that keeping him happy and eventually securing him with a long-term extension is a top priority for the Dallas Cowboys. The offensive side, CeeDee Lamb continues to shine as the number one wide receiver. Lamb has proven himself as the inherent playmaker capable of changing a game with his speed, alert learning, and hands. However, the Cowboys are still evaluating how to strengthen the receiving corps around him. Adding another reliable wide receiver, either through a free agents or the draft, remain a strong possibility as they aim to create a more explosive passing attack. When it comes to free agencies, the Cowboys have taken a disciplined and calculated approach. Instead of chasing a big name signings with a massive contract, the team has focused on value deals and role players who can contribute without creating a long-term financial strain. This strategy reflects the philosophy of the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, who is a Jerry Jones and the front office who believe in building a primarily through the draft while supplementing the roster with a smart free agents addition. A depth has been a major focus. The Cowboys have been working to ensure that injuries, something that has affected them in previous seasons, do not delay their campaign again. That means bringing in experienced backups, especially in a key position like offensive line, defensive line, and secondary. These additions may not always make headlines, but they are crucial over the course of a long NFL season. So another major area of attention is the offensive line. Over the past few seasons, injuries and inconsistencies have affected the Cowboys' ability to protect a Dak Prescott and establish a dominant running game. This offseason, the front office has made it clear that reinforcing the offensive line is a top priority. Whether through a free agency signing or high draft picks, expect Dallas to invest heavily in this area. On defense, the Cowboys remain aggressive and fast. With Micah Parsons leading the way, the defensive unity is built around a speed, pressure, and forcing turnovers. However, the team is still looking to add a more support to defensive line and the secondary to maintain its elite level. The goal is not just to be good defensively, but to be a dominant and game-changing. So now, shifting to the NFL draft, which is the one of the most exciting and a critical moments to the offseason, the Cowboys are entering the draft with a clear set of needs. Offensive line, help defensive line depth, and potentially another offensive weapons. The scouting department has been deeply engaged in evaluating college prospects, looking for players who can contribute immediately while also fitting into the team's long-term vision. There is also speculation that Dallas could make strategic moves during the draft, either trading up to secure a top target or trading down to gain additional picks. The flexibility of the approach gives them multiple options depending on how the draft unfolds. And what makes this draft especially important in opportunity to add a young cost-controlled talent. In today's NFL, where a salary cap management is crucial, hitting on draft picks can make the difference between a good team and championship contender. Coaching and team culture are also playing a big role in shaping